for me, when I was younger, man, I'd noticed that who I really am, who I really, really, really am, it didn't show other people. You know how it is, man. You wear a mask. Even just as a human operating in the world, even if you are in touch with yourself, you might still wear a mask, right? But after a lot of awakening and or purification, that mask begins to fall and your soul becomes very visible to people. So in other words, people can see you. You know how maybe when you were younger, if you tried to act cool or look just a particular way, you kind of like look a certain way and kind of, hold your face a certain way. When you wake up and or when you spiritually purify yourself, you're here. People can see you. Your spirit is right here. There's an aliveness to you. There's a luminosity to you. But what you'll notice is just how visible it is. Even in myself, I see the difference in like how I hold my face even. I see a lot of my spirit coming out more these days with all the work that I'm doing on myself. And it's beautiful. But I didn't let it happen to begin with. I was a little bit like, shit, what if people can really see me? Me, my fucking spirit, my soul. There's no hiding when you're really awake and you feel like your vessel, your whole being is clean. You just come through. Being this way, showing yourself, wearing your spirit on your sleeve, so to speak, or being spiritually naked. It's simultaneously vulnerable and secure. So there's a vulnerability to it just because, yeah, it's real. It's what's actually the case. You're showing yourself. But it's also totally rock solid and secure because it's real and it can't be pushed over. And I saw this in someone I know. There's a really lovely woman that I know. And I saw a video of her. And I watched this video and I was like, honestly, how can she show herself so much? How can she be so close to the surface? Like me watching it, it kind of felt dangerous. I was like, how could you show that much of yourself? That's risky, isn't it? Actually, no. The truth is, I admired that she could be that naked and she could show herself. It's like when you hear someone belly laugh and you really hear their spirit. You really hear the absolute truth of them. They're not speaking in a particular way. They're not like trying to hide something. No, you just fucking hear the life coming out, right? That's them. And that's them. And this is what happens as you do more of this work. For me, it's happened a lot recently, actually. I don't have any desire to hide who I am, but I'm just noticing that I can't hide. And that's good. It means you don't have a choice. But I want to share this with you, man, because I find it fascinating. I still don't show myself to certain people in certain places, of course, man. But interestingly, I do that when I don't feel like they'll be able to see me. It's almost like it's easier for you to slip into the mask when you know that you'll need the mask for certain socializing, right? Because when you're not socializing, you can be you. Socializing is such an interesting domain. It's very connected to this topic of your soul being close to the surface because really, as I said, it's a risk. You showing yourself and being here completely and allowing yourself to be close to the surface. And it can feel like a risk, but really, for me, I can tell that ultimately, man, long term, there is no risk. Because I understand, like, I can tell, man, and I'm sure you can too. All of this work is designed to help you be more authentic and more yourself. You know, maybe you have a vision as well, man, like me, where you can just see yourself, and you're so yourself. You're yourself fully, and you don't have to play any games. You don't have to hide. You don't have to be fearful. You can show yourself. Now, one reason why you might not have done this before is actually because you're just not in touch with your soul. So, for example, I'll be completely real with you, man. When I was addicted to pornography and other things, I wasn't in my soul. I was in this kind of like depleted state, this kind of fearful state. I wouldn't dream of showing my soul to someone else. That would be way too real and like intense. Couldn't hold that. You know, of course, man, it's normal. But then what happens is you mature. You develop the maturity to face your addictions. You meet yourself where you're at, and you say, yeah, man, I'm going through this. And I know this might be hard to like get your head around, dude, depending on where you are, but you do the work and you make it through. Right? It's not a fantasy. You actually do it. I mean, I'm standing in it right now. I'm speaking from the other side, as I call it, you know? And from this place, I don't feel the same awkwardness or tension or self-consciousness that I did. And I feel this connection to who I really am, my soul, my real self, and I feel like it's okay to wear it. It's not even wearing it, is it? Because it's just being it. Like you're naked. To wear something is to put something on. You just are it. It's like your body is your body. You know, you don't have to wear your body. It's just what's true. This path is about surrendering to what's true. If that means accepting your body, great, man. But for us right here, it's about getting in touch with your soul. You know, and if you don't resonate with the word soul, then just who you really are. You are that energy within that is underneath all of your conditioning and all of your trauma and all of your fear. You know, that energy, you can kind of feel it. It's like an aliveness. It's like a, hey, yeah, me, I'm here. That. Right? This work is letting that surface. And it's feeling the joy because you're being that. For me, that's authenticity. And that's truth. That's personal truth. We know about transpersonal truth. We can talk about that. But we can't bypass this work. Can't bypass being a human, man. You know, and the more spiritual work you do, the more this is revealed to you. The reason I'm talking about it now is because it's become real for me. So, man, I want you to know that you can show yourself and show your spirit and that be okay. It's okay to be yourself fully and to be close to the surface. Really, you want to be the surface. You want to be, you know, you don't want to have anything covering you. You don't want to be like slightly underneath the surface. You want to be the surface. You want to be present. Yeah? One reason this is so hard is because the second you go outside and you start speaking to someone else, your mind is wired in such a way where it wants to keep you alive. So it will change itself to fit in and socially survive. But what if you were to deconstruct a lot of that to actually meditate on how you're changing yourself? You're not really being yourself. And then you were to do the spiritual work to feel your true self, your soul, as I would put it, your spirit. And that part of you is not just human. Really, that's something more profound as well. And when you're all of you, you're unified. There is a holism. You're holistic. You know, as opposed to like fragmented parts all over the place that haven't really ever been interconnected in a holistic way, where you feel like, yeah, this part of me and this part of me, they're not just disparate parts that barely see the light of day. No, you have all of you. All of you. All of you, man. And then you feel yourself. And a lot of your problems will be solved. Because think about it, man. The problem that you're dealing with is it's you not coming from the right place. It's you not really being who you want to be. You can kind of tell, you can kind of intuit that authentic people, really authentic people who are really in touch with themselves and their true selves, live more effortless lives. Because they just are who they are. And if you are who you are, what does that mean for everything in your life? You just show up truthfully, authentically. Right? If you're like me, man, you're inspired by this. You know your own limitations or imperfections, but you have a vision of what's possible with being real. And as you know, and as I've pointed out this whole video, by the time you get there, by the time you're like really real, by the time you're really in yourself, showing yourself fully, it becomes very spiritual. You're in your soul. And for the rest of your life, you know, this is the place to make decisions from, to think from, to be from, to live from. It's yourself. And again, that self will be visible to others. It will be visible to you, maybe, but it will definitely be visible to others. And people will probably relate to you because they can see your humanness and your spirit and, you know, both things actually, both your human side, but also the divinity, the purity, the life force. Doesn't matter if you're retaining it or not. Fuck retention, bro. It's just about who you are, regardless of anything. Yeah? Final thing from me, dude, is if you're inspired by this, man, and you want to be more of yourself, you want to uncover who you really are, and you want to be in your soul or in your spirit, then you can work with me one-to-one. I offer coaching and mentoring. If that interests you, you can see the link in the description. Otherwise, man, we're going to call things there. Dude, I'm glad to be showing you more of me. I'm glad to be growing. I'm glad to be being more vulnerable. And yeah, man, I'm grateful. Brother, sister, take care. Lots of love. And as always, man, peace.